Hello everyone, Ross the music teacher here. Today we're going to talk about a subject that is very important to me, and I think it should be important to everybody that does any sort of finger picking on acoustic guitars. Now, this is specifically acoustic, so classical and steel string for finger picking, and that is the size of your sound. There are lots of guitarists out there, even ones that are pretty skillful, that just have a very small sound and they cannot pull a lot of volume out of this instrument. And it's important that we pull the volume out of the instrument because it's a pretty quiet instrument, all said and done. So there are a couple concepts here, and these are concepts that you should start incorporating into your practice pretty much as soon as possible. They're not impossible to learn, but they do take time to sink in, and there are concepts that apply to one hand or the other. So we're going to start with the fretting hand because this is a pretty simple concept. With the fretting hand, you're always going to get a better tone and volume if you're just close to that fret, right? There's not going to be as many buzzes, even though I kind of had a buzz there. I was hitting the string a little too hard. Not going to be as many buzzes, and there's going to be a really just nice tone, and you're not choking the string if you're close to the fret because you're pressing nice and light. So with the left hand, just make sure you're close to the fret and you're not pressing super hard, because that will actually pull the instrument out of tune if you press too hard with your fretting hand. Now here's the important hand for tone production. That is your finger picking hand. There are a couple things that you need to understand in order to get a full tone out of your guitar. First off, the direction that the string is going to go when it releases off of your finger is actually really important. You want the string vibrating towards the top. The sound actually comes off of the top of the guitar. It doesn't really come out of the hole here. It comes off the top of the guitar because this bridge here is going woo, 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 woo. And if you make the string vibrate towards the top, it's already just going to be that much louder. Now you do that with the way that you pluck the string, and the way that you pluck the string, it needs to be with these big knuckles. It's kind of like the same motion as opening a jar. These knuckles don't pluck the string. It's these knuckles that pluck the string, the big ones. These knuckles might move a little bit just in order to miss the string behind it and have a natural feeling, because if you're just going like this, that doesn't feel very natural. There is a little bit of a natural curling of these knuckles, but all of the plucking force comes from these knuckles, and then the muscles are in the forearm, right? And when you pluck the string, you need to make sure that you are kind of pushing it and it's releasing off the finger. You're not trying to clobber it. There's a lot of people out there that will start to finger pick and they'll learn to go somewhat fast, but what they're really doing is they're just striking at the strings. And even when you're playing fast, a finger pick pluck is going to be your finger comes in contact with the string, there's pressure applied to the string, and it comes off. And then you let your finger go and it goes back to where it was before, right? So you really need to be very careful to pluck in a way that you're pulling the volume out of your guitar, and that comes from applying pressure to the string until it releases from the finger. And at that point, you relax your finger and it goes back. That's a really kind of easy to explain concept, but it's a hard one to understand physically. Like, you have to sit there and spend time just plucking your string and making sure that you're getting a good, nice, rounded sound out of it, and your hand is relaxed. And you need to go nice and slow and just pluck each string one after another and make sure that you are getting that beautiful note. And if you can practice doing just that in isolation every day, then your overall sound over time is going to get so much better. This is a really neglected part of many people's playing. I even see, YouTube teachers teaching finger picking, and you listen to their finger picking, it sounds very tinny, it sounds very thin. There's no there's no volume, there's no substance to it. So getting that volume, that substance, that big round note really comes down to touching the string in a certain way so that it vibrates towards the top of the guitar. And at that point, you know, it just sounds just so much better. Every note is clear, it's less muddy. You can control the volume of any individual note. I mean, it really opens up a whole palette of colors for the fingerstyle guitarist, but you have to kind of get down to the nuts and bolts of this and practice it in isolation every day. So that's today's practice tip. Have fun with it, guys.